Making Moves in the Marketplace is a program dedicated to providing a forum for elite social entrepreneurs doing significant acts of good for our world by impacting their own sphere of influence. These unique individuals are following their calling and encouraging success, and not just for themselves. Listen to these interviews and be inspired, as well as obtain contact information so you can get firsthand advice. So let's meet our guests on Making Moves in the Marketplace. Hello and good morning. We are on. So my name is Carolyn Maul. Good morning. Good morning. I am a professional life coach. I specialize in holistic nutrition, physical fitness, and healthy relationships. And I'm located in California, but today I have the unique honor of interviewing 3 East Coast luminaries who have united together to promote women's empowerment. So as a life coach and also as a career and business strategist for my clients, I'm all about empowering other women. And so what I would like to do is introduce each of these 3 gentlemen on my interview today and talk a little bit about this Synergy of Empowered Women, which is a nonprofit organization, which I also happen to be starting the West Coast chapter of. So Ed Bracey, my first guest here, is an empowerment strategist, and he is the founder of Synergy of Empowered Women. Okay?
Absolutely great. Go right ahead.
So next we have Jimmy LaRose, and I met Jimmy in the Carolinas last month when I was out there. Jimmy is a global cause entrepreneur. He carries several titles within the nonprofit world, but foremost is the title of board member of the National Association of Nonprofit Organizations and Executives, also known as NANOE, and he is the founder of the National Development Institute. Welcome, Jimmy.
Carolyn, thank you. What a wonderful introduction.
So the last member of our team this morning is Fawcett, and Louis is the Senior VP of Principal Gifts with EdVenture, and he's also a very accomplished fundraiser. So thank you so much for being here with us, Louis.
It's my pleasure. Great to be with you.
So I am super anxious to hear about the collaboration of you 3 philanthropic powerhouses. So Ed, will you please share with us today how you began Synergy of Empowered Women, and not only that, but your future vision for this organization?
Okay, great. Well, Synergy of Empowered Women began in February of 2014. Basically started with an idea of being a mentor for women, very similar to the mentoring I had received when I first got into the business world. I had 6 distinctive mentors, each taught me a specific area of business. And I noted through my career that I didn't see a similar type of system for women. And the idea popped in my head, why not? Why not do the same thing for women and do it on a more organized scale? So at the time I was living in Florida. Had several life changes that occurred while I was in Florida. I lost my son to cancer, and then my mother passed a year after him. And I, in turn, moved back home to the Carolinas to be with my dad. And I figured all of my future prospects for Synergy of Empowered Women would kind of go down the tubes. Well, I was wrong. They actually took off. And I met several different meetup groups here in the Charlotte area. And one of the groups is Women Entrepreneurs of Charlotte. And I met so many women who were working on their own, developing, their own businesses. And once I gave them an understanding of what Synergy Empowered Women was all about, they united with me, and we've been moving forward ever since. In fact, let me just share. Synergy of Empowered Women is a platform, and it's a platform for donors, advocates, and also volunteers who are truly committed to helping women achieve their highest success. And that's what we're all about. We don't have a set in stone business model. Say, for instance, you're a young entrepreneur and you need a mentor, we help you with that. If you're at the next level and you need some training and coaching, we help you with that. If you're at the next level and need to develop your idea and need a laptop, we help you with that. We're all about taking women to the highest level of success that they can achieve. And I'll tell you, it's a cause for me, and I absolutely love it. I get up every day happy about doing this.
I can absolutely understand that feeling of personal empowerment, but also that when you're able to help others, that gift of just, waking up every morning so excited to start your day and see how things develop. So how are you then associated with Jimmy and Lewis? Where did these guys come in?
Well, back in February, I got an invitation to a meeting for NANOE, for the National Association of Nonprofit Organizations and Executives. And I attended that meeting in Columbia, and I met some of the most genuine, true, heartfelt people I've ever met in my life. And as a result of that, I connected with them and asked them how I could take my organization to the next level. Mm-hmm. Since that $1 million question that I asked, things have just been on fire for our organization. And I love that. And I'll let them explain more about what they do and how they do it. But I'm so happy that we've connected, and it's been so mutually beneficial, especially on my side. I've learned so much more about nonprofit fundraising and connecting with people, that type of thing.
So let me turn to Jimmy now for a moment, because Jimmy, as I said earlier, is the founder of the National Development Institute. And so, Jimmy, do you remember meeting Ed? What were your first thoughts about him and his mission with Synergy of Empowered Women?
Well, Carolyn, thank you. Ed's a bit intimidating. Ed is this powerhouse who is committed to finding needs and meeting them. And he particularly found our society, within this confidently plural society, that the different instruments that were in place and the different systems that are in place lend themselves more to male entrepreneurs succeeding and overlook the power and what could be also, the case could be made, the special design that, if put in place, would allow our female population to experience, just ridiculous amounts of success. So with that being said, what if I shared the different programs that we are beginning to oversee and implement on behalf of Synergy for Empowered Women? And they are these. You have a great idea. You're excited about being entrepreneurial. To go from point A to point Z, if you will, could cost millions of dollars, could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the course in the past whereby which you get to that point, there's just a tremendous amount of unknowns. We shouldn't have to go to school to get an MBA in order to begin to succeed in business. Matter of fact, most entrepreneurs don't have an MBA and have been able to move into this health and this wealth and this prosperity and this abundance of success that's made possible living here in Western civilization. So with the belief that entrepreneurship is one of the mainstays of our Western culture, with the belief that women entrepreneurs are smarter and have actually more opportunity than even men, what if there was an organization in place where a person could receive startup coaching? They want to start up their business, so they need a startup coach. But in addition to startup coaching, they need a startup kit. They need seed money for equipment. They need training. They need all of the technical support that goes with, and in this day and age, instead of having to pay an attorney or a corporate, a CPA, et cetera, to do all these things, what if there was a startup kit in place that began to equip this individual? So you got a startup coaching, you've got a startup kit. Then what if there was a startup conference where you could go and collaborate and network and understand that you are not alone in your dreams and desires, and you get to face some of these obstacles with fellow female entrepreneurs? In addition to startup coaching, in addition to a startup kit, in addition to a startup conference, what if there was a process whereby which you could learn all these disciplines and become a certified business owner, which is then different from a local program where you take a city and you also then have a business leadership institute. So I'm going to go over these programs one more time and then explain the last one in detail. Startup coaching, you need a coach. Startup kit, you need a kit. You go to a startup conference to learn more. You become a certified business owner. But within that process, imagine this. Imagine if you said, my geographic scale is going to be, for instance, Charlotte, North Carolina. You could then go through that Charlotte Business Leadership Institute where you learn about the media outlet. You learn about legislation and government. You learn about the Small Business Association there. You learn about all of the different that comprise civil society, the public sector, the private sector, even the nonprofit sector. And forgive me for saying this, you get to see how synergistically all of those dimensions end up supporting you in your entrepreneurship. So Carolyn, allow me one more time to review the Synergy for Empowered Women programs: startup coaching, startup kit, startup conference, certified business owner credentialing, and then Business Leadership Institute.
Thank you so much for making that so clear, Jimmy, because that is exactly the path that for me, I've been an entrepreneur for over 10 years. If I would have been able to have something like that, a clear path to follow, I, would have been able to streamline so many things so much faster. As it was, I was able to piece things together along the way and find a mentor here and small business coaching here, but to be able to have everything under one roof in a very clear outlined plan is just, to me, amazing.
Let me share with you why this is not starting out of the gate. This may sound like a new idea. It's not. It may sound like we're getting started from scratch, but we're not, and I'll tell you why. And I'll turn it over to Lewis with this. Lewis and I have spent our entire careers helping nonprofits who arguably do not necessarily have a product that they can sell. Preserving a rainforest or helping an indigent family, these are the different offers that we are able to make the community. But it's very rare that rainforest gives us $1 back for our product, or that indigent family is able to pay. So Lewis and I have spent our entire careers building nonprofits from scratch, making them sustainable, positioning them in a way where they end up receiving all sorts of incomes. And the truth of the matter is, a successful nonprofit in its founding stage is really based on the passion of an entrepreneur. And when we work with nonprofits, we provide them coaching. We provide them a startup kit. We provide them institutes. We provide them conferences, et cetera, to get them launched properly. And we've seen nonprofits go from not even having a 501c3 designation, not even having a corporation, to being funded and making multi-millions of dollars within 36 months. We believe that Synergy of Empowered Women can take those same utilities, those same passions, and actually apply them to female entrepreneurs who want to go into the nonprofit sector or the for-profit sector, or even into, we now have the public-private sector, which is combined. We just feel as though the things that we have worked to help nonprofits get started are exactly what a female entrepreneur would use to get their program started. Carolyn, maybe I'll turn it over to you for context, and you can turn it over to Lewis. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. When you have a successful system, which you do, and you're able to replicate that with Ed, with the Synergy of Empowered Women, because as we're talking, as you're going through, there's a startup, there's a kit, there's a conference, etc. Yes, all of those things need funding to be offered. So that being said, how does a nonprofit go about fundraising in today's day and age when there are so many resources, so much social media, so much noise? So perhaps, Lewis, you can maybe shed some light on this for us.
Sure. What gets me excited every day is working with people and organizations that are changing and saving lives. And anytime that I get to work with an organization that has boots on the ground, that's on the front lines of changing lives, I get super excited. And that's why Synergy of Empowered Women excites me so much, because this is frontline stuff to move the needle for female entrepreneurs. It gives them everything they need to set them up to be successful. And we work with a model for fundraising that has 13 steps. And it begins with developing an organization and looking at what the resources are within the organization, and then developing what we call a case for support, where we make the case about why someone would want to support the front lines work of this organization. And so as we go through the various steps of this model, we really focus in on face-to-face relationships with people who can make a difference. We love to utilize social media and email and all the different technologies that are at our disposal, but we have found that what really makes a difference for nonprofits is connecting with individuals, foundations, corporations who have the ability to write 5 and 6 and 7 figure checks to really make a difference and change lives on the front lines.
So let me go back to Ed here for a moment. Ed, for Synergy of Empowered Women specifically, where do you see your next steps in fundraising to be able to accumulate some of these resources so that we can actually start to provide the coaching, provide the kits, put on the conferences? What are your next steps?
Well, I believe it's exactly what Lewis just mentioned, is connecting with people who are committed towards our cause and are willing to, commit funding to it. That's an individual commitment. And just as, you, I, Lewis, and Jimmy have our causes that we're committed to, we need to find people who are committed to us. And that's what I see the next step to be.
I'd like to jump in on this if it's okay, Carolyn.
Please, yes.
If we look at the junior achievement model, some people who's looked at the podcast may be aware of junior achievement. They provide financial and business and corporate education to 5th and 6th graders. The way they administer that content is that they have the local CPAs, the local bank presidents, the local insurance company actually go into the school. You make a commitment as a JA leader to 1 week a year in the afternoons to, as a bank president, administering this course content at the elementary school. Well, our model of Synergy of Empowered Women is to find those successful, accomplished female entrepreneurs in any station, whether they own their own business or they are the head of a CEO of a company, and connect them with these female entrepreneurs in the particular chapter region where we're organized. Now, with meaningfully involving, like the JA model involves the bank presidents and the owners of the CPA firms and the owners of the insurance firms, those same people who administer that course content at the elementary school, because they became meaningfully involved and because they were touched by getting to mentor and to administer that course content, they turn around and are able to also personally and financially invest. So as it relates to the funding model for Synergy of Empowered Women, the more top female leaders we can get empowering new female entrepreneurs, the more connective tissue is put in place, and those same leaders will turn around and also support Synergy of Empowered Women financially.
Yeah, and if I could jump in on that a little bit, we see this as a national model where there are local chapters in cities all across the country. So where we have successful female entrepreneurs involved in, say, a city like Charlotte, North Carolina, they are going to be mentoring new female leaders. They're going to be sending to us the information on the projects that need to be funded, the potential, and really vetting out those new female leaders so that we can make decisions. Obviously, we can't fund every single entrepreneur that comes along, but we'll have a process to go through, and that process is going to be informed by leaders in each city across the country.
So as we wind down the conversation now, Ed, is there anything that you would like people to know about how to get involved, who to reach out to if they feel so moved to take part of this in the Synergy?
Very simple. They can contact us through our Facebook page presence, Synergy of Empowered Women, or they can go to our website, which is synergyofempoweredwomen.com, and just send us an email at synergyofempoweredwomen@outlook.com. Very simple.
Excellent. And Jimmy, if someone's listening to this and they have an idea for a nonprofit organization that they have been dreaming about for years, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, thank you, Carolyn. Jimmy at jimmylarose.com. That's JIMMY at jimmylarose.com.
And Lewis, how can people reach out to you to kind of pick your brain a little bit about this whole process, this 13 steps, the things that you're so passionate about?
So one of the places that they can go is majorgiftsrampup.com, majorgiftsrampup.com, and that lays out the model that we're working with. They can also attend one of the seminars that we host throughout the country. If they go to nonprofitconferences.org, they can look at the seminars that we host that really spend 2 days, and it's 2 days of inspiration and learning and fun to walk people through this major gift fundraising model. And then, of course, anytime people can reach out to me at my email address, and that's lewisfawcett@gmail.com, LOUISFAWCETT @gmail.com.
I am, of course, Carolyn at carolynmaul.com. And as we wrap up, I just wanted to thank you, gentlemen, so much for taking the time this morning to explain a little bit about this particular nonprofit, how the inception occurred, what the process is, and how it relates to so many other opportunities for people. Not, like I said, in the nonprofit, for-profit, public-private, there are so many opportunities in the world, and it is just so exciting for me to see this synergy of people who whole focus is just making a difference. I mean, you guys are just amazing and so inspiring to me. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Okay.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today for Making Moves in the Marketplace. Making Moves in the Marketplace is a production of Synergy of Empowered Women, an organization that provides a platform for donors, volunteers, and advocates committed to helping women achieve their greatest potential. We look forward to our next informative broadcast where we interview social entrepreneurs making moves in the marketplace.